What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Thursday, the 19th day of September in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The deadline for the completion of the $260 million Demerara River Bridge has been pushed back by some 3 months owing to some logistical and other challenges. That's according to the Minister of Public Works, Juan Edgel. During an early morning press conference this morning, Minister Edgel explained that the government was initially anticipating completion of the project by the end of this year, but the completion date has been revised because of procurement challenges and other issues.
It was mainly getting the things here in a timely manner because, in all fairness to the contractor and everybody in the country know that I put pressure to get work done. They have worked day and night to bring us to this stage. So we have calculated the time lost and what is offered. I'm sure every contractor would like to have more, but what we have agreed on to March 31st, I think it's reasonable, it's just, and it's fair in keeping with the circumstances.
The project, which is being executed by China Railway Construction International Company, is about 68% completed, according to the minister, although there is significant amount of work still to be completed. It was explained that about $150 million of the $260 million for the project has been expended so far. With the extension of the completion timeline, the cost is expected to be increased. Meanwhile, the manager for the bridge project, Patrick Thompson, said adequate safety measures will be put in place to minimize damages and disruptions at the new bridge. He stated that the bridge was designed to withstand collisions and other shocks from large vessels.
We've also built the structure of the foundation and the piers for the main tower to resist the collision of a handy-max vessel. So if it does collide, the structure is strong enough to not collapse or to not be impacted in any big way. In addition to that, we're going to have some collision protection around the piles. So before it gets to the bridge, it would have to collide with the collision protection system that the contractor will build.
The new bridge will consist of 4 lanes and will span 2.6 kilometers, connecting Nandy Park on the east bank of Demerara to Lagrange on the west bank. Its total width, including the 4 lanes, shoulders, and median, will be around 23.6 meters, providing ample space for safe and efficient traffic flow. With a height of 50 meters, the bridge is specifically designed to accommodate handy-max vessels passing underneath. The minimum horizontal width of the navigation span is 210 meters, but the final design is anticipated to have a more extensive horizontal span. President Irfan Ali has promised that when completed, the bridge will not attract any toll for crossing. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you ready to elevate your career with a world-class education from the comfort of your home? The University of Excellence Management in Business, UEMB, Guyana's premier accredited and recognized tertiary institution, invites you to join one or more of our comprehensive 145-degree programs. Registration is now open for our next intake on September 9 and every 2 months thereafter. Enroll now and secure a 50% scholarship. Choose from an ABA, BBA, MBA, MPM, EMBA, EMPM, and LLM degrees, available in 14 specializations. Whether you hold an undergraduate degree, a diploma, or relevant professional qualifications, apply. We are an accredited degree-granting tertiary institution in Guyana. Our programs are also equivalent to a USA Regional Accredited degree. Submit your completed application form, proof of entrance qualification, and any form of ID. For more details, visit our administrative office in the Critchlow Labour College, front building, Wolford Avenue, or call 225-1395, 225-1397-9, 618-3434, and 681-3434. Progressing to a degree is as easy as ABC with UEMB. Deal with the best and forget the rest.
I can't wait until tomorrow.
Yes.
Start packing this, yeah?
I ain't start packing yet. Usually I pack a couple hours before and I go. Drive. I got my phone, I got my keys, my charger, my
Procrastinating planning for the future? Well, that's never a good idea. Let Demerara Mutual and Demerara Fire and General help you get started with planning for your future today. I'm with Dem.
Hi, I'm Marlene Street Forrest, Managing Director of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Join us at the second Regional Investment and Capital Markets Conference to be held in Guyana on October 8 to 9, 2024 at the Pegasus Suites and Corporate Center. Under the theme Financing for Success, where passion, prosperity, and people align, we will explore the latest trends and opportunities in wealth creation and economic development. This two-day event promises to be engaging, enlightening, and game-changing. To register to attend, visit www.jamstockex.com or call 876-967-3271. Come and make the right connections.
With a 36-megawatt power ship connected to the national grid to boost GPL's general capacity and the recent purchase of several generating sets, frequent blackouts have still returned, and Vice President Barrett Chagdio today expressed his concern over the situation. While GPL has blamed the recent outages on a number of issues, including pile driving and construction activities, Mr. Jagdio today said the issue is also one of generation capacity, old transmission lines, and the management at the power company. Jagdio said with some roadworks ongoing, GPL has also relayed that moving up the lines also disrupts the system. However, the Vice President said the government is acknowledging that the issues of GPL need fixing, but said while fixing the company might not happen overnight, the government will be making several interventions, including the much-hyped gas-to-energy project. Vice President Jagdio also said the government is building a transmission network to take additional power. He explained that the administration plans to construct new substations to take off power from the main grid, so that if there is an outage in one area, it will not affect other areas. According to the Vice President, with a massive development taking place across the country, the government is in a rush to supply stable energy. The power problems at GPL have been ongoing for several years. Let's tell you now that one day after the Ministry of Agriculture stated that there was no theft of sugar at the Rose Hall estate, but rather an overstatement in the sugar production by 243 tons, Opposition Member of Parliament Vince Roy Jordan is calling for a full release of the audit report that the ministry said uncovered the error. In a statement, Mr. Jordan said there must be more clarity provided on the issue, especially since 2 managers at the state company were fired over the alleged error.
With regard to the overstatement of the production, one must query if the government understands that the first line of recording, tabulating, and even preliminary declarations are made by the factory hand, which is a level of staff responsible for accounting and recording production per shift, which is made known on a whiteboard visible to other staff. That information proceeds to the lab technician, then to the senior lab technician, who verifies the figures of production. For onward transmission to the production manager and thereafter to the factory manager. This should lead to the question, how is it that this overstatement was not detected at least at one of the various levels of verification? This is clearly an attempt to cover up and hide the failure and the facts. Having knowledge of this procedure, the PNCR APNU calls on the Minister of Agriculture to make the audit of the first crop of 2024 at Rose Hall Estate Factory public.
The opposition MP questioned whether the firing of the 2 senior staff members was done to cover up the true state of the operations at the Rose Hall Sugar Estate amid allegations of corruption. He said one of the managers fired by the Agriculture Ministry was dismissed under the APNU-AFC government for lack of accountability and other concerns. He said that same manager was rehired by the current government.
The Minister of Agriculture would know that the very production manager was fired by the APNU-AFC administration for similar actions of lack of accountability in relation to the total production of sugar at the Iflot Estate Factory, along with several other staff. It was the PPPC administration that rehired the manager, and today we can all confirm the end result and conclude that they are complicit in corruption.
Since 2020, GECOM has received in excess of $30 billion in subventions from the government. It was recently revealed that the company has suffered losses of more than $15 billion for the years 2021 and 2022. That figure is expected to climb on the completion of the audits for 2023 and 2024. The Agriculture Ministry has been defending the efforts to revitalize the sugar industry, and the government has repeatedly stated its commitment to continuing to invest in the sector. Attorneys representing the interests of rights activist Melissa Atwell, also known as Melly Mel, and her mother have written to the Acting Police Commissioner, Clifton Hicken, seeking information regarding a recent police operation that was carried out at the home of the activist's mother. The police in a statement had indicated that the operation was based on intelligence received, and its ranks went on a search for drugs at the woman's residence. There was nothing found at the home or in the yard. However, the police later claimed that less than 1 ounce of marijuana was discovered in a plastic bag in an alleyway outside of the yard. In the letter to the Acting Police Commissioner, the attorney said the actions by the police constitute trespass and a violation of the rights of their clients. The attorneys also contend that the actions of the police constitute an attempt to harass, bully, and intimidate the rights activist into silence over her criticisms of the government and the Guyana police force. The attorneys want the Acting Police Commissioner to provide them with a factual and legal basis upon which the search was carried out, inclusive of documentary sources that inform the actions of the Guyana police force. The Acting Police Commissioner has been given 48 hours to respond to the request, with the attorney stating that his failure to do so will result in legal proceedings being instituted against the state of Guyana. The Atwells are being represented by attorneys Roysdale Ford, Nigel Hughes, Joe Harmon, Dexter Todd, Darren Wade, UC Anderson, Narissa Leander, and Ayana Butts.
The Guyana Elections Commission GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31st, 2024, and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. How to apply for registration. You must visit the GECOM registration office that is responsible for the registration of persons from your area of residence to apply for registration or name change or correction. You must be in possession of the following source documents as might be relevant: original birth certificate or valid Guyana passport for new registration, original marriage certificate and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by way of marriage, original deed poll and original birth certificate in the case of a name change by deed poll, original naturalization certificate and original birth certificate or valid passport in the case of naturalization. This registration exercise will end on November 29th, 2024. For further information, please contact GECOM on the following hotline numbers: 225-027729, 226-6557, 223-9650, or visit the GECOM website at www.gecom.org.gy.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Monster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster, grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
The Bahamas, Jamaica, Belize, and Haiti are the CARICOM member states which have been listed by the U.S. President as major drug transit or major illicit drug producing countries for the fiscal year 2025. In a statement, the White House explained that the country's presence on the list is not necessarily a reflection of its government's counter-drug efforts or level of cooperation with the U.S. It was made clear that the list is not a sanction or penalty, but the reason countries are placed on the list is the combination of geographic, commercial, and economic factors that allow drugs or precursor chemicals to be transited or produced, even if a government has engaged in robust and diligent narcotics control and law enforcement measures. The White House said provisional data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has indicated that there were an estimated 107,543 drug overdose deaths in the U.S. during last year, and that was a decrease of 3% from the previous year. The U.S. government has said that while it expands its efforts at home, it also recognizes the drug problem as a global one that requires a coordinated international response. While Guyana is considered a transshipment point for drugs heading to Europe and parts of the U.S., the country is not considered a major drug transshipment point. Over the years, Guyana has been steadily increasing its efforts to tackle drug trafficking. However, drug pushers from other parts of South America have been continuously using Guyana's wide and porous borders to get drugs in and out of the country. The government of Guyana is currently working on a policy to regulate the use of those heavy-duty trucks on the country's roadways, with weight limit regulations being the center of a new policy, according to the Minister of Public Works. Minister Juan Edgel told reporters this morning that large trucks are often overloaded and speeding on the roadways and highways and have been damaging the roads in various communities as well as causing major accidents.
Trucks cannot move at the same speed of a motor car or an SUV or a bus. They're fetching weight. In that policy that we're developing as well, we'll have to look at issues of weight control.
Minister Edgel further explained that overweight trucks continue to damage the country's roads, and he made the case of the western half of the Heroes Highway, which has to undergo frequent rehabilitation because of the heavy trucks that traverse there. In addition to weight control, Minister Edgel explained that the policy will also address the question of speed, the use of community roads, parking areas for the vehicles, as well as the hours drivers spend on the road.
Government has made a decision. Ministry of Housing and Water is preparing an area, I think it may be about 20 acres overall, where trucks and people who operate articulated and commercial vehicles could be able to rent spaces, parking. And I guess we will have to also do the same thing somewhere along the line for the owners of the fleet of buses.
The policy is expected to cover container trucks, trawlers, and trucks that carry sand, stones, and other materials, as well as large vehicles. The minister said the measures that are being put in place should not be seen as draconian, but he noted that a culture of order and doing things in an orderly manner must be developed. He said that while the government encourages economic opportunity and the rapid development that is taking place in the country, the conversation has to be shifted on how those who use the road networks do so in an orderly and responsible way. A total of 20 Venezuelans have been arrested and charged for illegally fishing in Guyana's waters and operating unlicensed vessels in Guyana. The 20 were arrested earlier this week and appeared in court on Tuesday and Wednesday. During their appearance, the court was told that the 20 Venezuelans were arrested between the 20th of August and the 5th of September. They were held by ranks of the Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard while patrolling Guyana's waterways. The crew was found in 2 vessels within Guyana's exclusive economic zone, carrying out fishing activities. They admitted that they had no license to fish in Guyana, but explained that they had been hired by a local company to work on its behalf in the fishing industry. The Venezuelans told the court that the company was informed of their presence and fishing operations. The court also heard that it was not the first time that they were carrying out fishing activities on behalf of the local company. The charges were read to the Venezuelan through an interpreter, and all of them pleaded guilty to the charges. They were each fined $300,000. The captains of 2 vessels faced an additional charge of operating a fishing vessel without a valid license. One of them pleaded guilty, and he was fined $1 million, while the other captain pleaded not guilty and will have to appear in court later this month.
GECOM is currently conducting a national registration exercise. Who can register? Anyone who will be 14 years or older by December 31, 2024 and is a Guyanese citizen by birth, descent, naturalization, or is a citizen from a Commonwealth country living in Guyana for 1 year or more. It is the civic duty and legal responsibility of all persons who meet the eligibility requirements to apply for registration. By doing so, you will be ensuring that you are issued a national identification card and be included in the official lists of electors for future elections, providing you meet all eligibility criteria. Persons could be prosecuted, fined, or even sent to prison for failing or refusing to apply for registration. This registration exercise will end on November 29, 2024. For further information, contact GECOM on 225-027729 or visit the website www.gecom.org.gy.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look. You know the one. Or one touch. Even one word. I can start with one step. Or one promise. One thrill. One first time. One deep breath. One leap of faith. One day to remember. Or one night to forget. One moment. So many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life. Just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
Across the region tonight, let's begin in Haiti, where the government there has created a provisional electoral council, marking the most concrete step toward reviving the electoral process in years after political turmoil and later violence thwarted previous attempts. The Caribbean nation is set to hold elections by 2026, a decade after they were last held in 2016. Under normal circumstances, elections would have been held every 5 years. But an already rocky political situation in Haiti was exacerbated by the power vacuum caused by the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse in 2021, and the nation has gone without a president ever since. Armed gangs have also since spread their control over some 80% of the capital of Port-au-Prince and most other parts of the country. The council created on Wednesday already has representatives for 7 seats that represent religious groups, journalists, farmers, and unions. 2 other seats, one for human rights organizations and another for women's rights organizations, still lack a delegate. In Ecuador, the country's military has started supporting operations at a major dam following a government decision to implement a series of 8-hour nightly power cuts across the country next week. It's coming amid a severe drought which has caused water levels to plunge, affecting hydroelectric plants. Ecuador is in the grip of a power crisis, reports the BBC, and the government attributes it to a lack of maintenance of existing dams and contracts to secure new power generation, as well as the country's worst drought in the last 61 years. It was not clear how many weeks the power cuts will be implemented for. The measure is in addition to a scheduled power cut this week for preventative maintenance on all transmission facilities and distribution networks across Ecuador. And finally tonight, international news. In Africa, Gabon's deposed President Ali Bongo has announced that he will quit politics a year after he was toppled from power by a military coup. The 65-year-old also called for the release of his wife and son, who are in detention, awaiting trial on corruption allegations. It is not clear whether his statement follows any negotiations with the military rulers, or if he's hoping that by agreeing to quit politics, he will secure his family's freedom. Mr. Bongo suffered a stroke in 2018, and his health was a major source of concern for many in the build-up to the 2023 presidential election. The army seized power last August, shortly after Mr. Bongo was declared the winner of the election, which was disputed by the opposition. He had led the oil-rich country since 2009, when he succeeded his father, who had been in power for more than 40 years. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to have a safe and enjoyable evening.